Hey guys, Tony here, and in this video it's not going to be anything fancy, but you'll understand by the end of this about YouTube suggested video optimization. And I'm going to basically just take the information from this blog post here, because I was searching for some resources to back up the stuff that I was going to put into Google slide, and they've already done that in this blog post, so we can just basically read from here, and it's got links here for the sources like YouTube Creators Academy, and various people connected with YouTube, etc. And so we can, take a lot of this information and use it, efficiently. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because it's for the benefit of people who have got SerpAttack, because with SerpAttack we have got 4 algorithm triggers for suggested video, 4 algorithm triggers for suggested video. But the big thing about suggested video that you need to know before we start to get into this is that it generates a huge amount of traffic. I mean, there's massive amounts of traffic in YouTube, and if you think that YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, but all the top YouTube creators will tell you they get more traffic from suggested video than what they get from search. So that tells its own story, so it's massive platform, and the possibilities there are very good as long as your content is good. Now, we can manipulate some things with the algorithm hacks that we can basically use with SerpAttack. So for example, we can go and get like 1,000 high retention views, and we can make sure those high retention views range from, say, 93 to 100%. We can tell all that to the software to do, so that when other people is watching the video, they have to follow exactly what your instructions were in your settings, and you will do vice versa for them as well with your viewing tools, with the desktop tools that you do the views. So that is all good and well, but when the real traffic comes, when you start to get into things like suggested video, when you start to see you're getting higher rankings because you're getting these user engagement signals that are positive for the watch time, for the retention time, etc. Well, when the real traffic comes, then the real data comes with it, so your content needs to be good as well. So only use this for your very best content, use it for content that you want to rank, use it for content that you put some effort into, and that way it will work very well for you. So basically what you can see here is this blog post, and basically what I'm going to do is just talk about whenever I see the bullet points here, because they've laid this out really nicely, and I can just explain what they're talking about here. So what they're talking about is they're going to look at suggested videos for YouTube, and why you should be working to get your videos into that spot where you've been suggested. So when people open up YouTube and in the homepage, they get the videos suggested to them according to the types of videos they've been watching before, and according to the things that they've been interested in, so even things that they've been searching as well. So you can see how that can be really powerful. If you, for example, I suggested to somebody yesterday who wanted some help with some tips for targeting for his YouTube ads, and what I suggested was to create an extra YouTube account and watch some videos around a specific topic. So for example, if I if I've got a spare YouTube account and I haven't really been doing any viewing, etc., now what I can do is start viewing from that channel. And if I wanted to sort of get into the suggested video algorithm to see what Google is suggesting or see what YouTube is suggesting, I can start watching videos about a specific topic. So for example, for YouTube advertising, so I could be finding videos from Shash Singh, I could be seeing videos from Kyle Sellerud, I could be seeing videos from Surfside PPC and Paid Media Pros. These are all top channels for YouTube, for influencers on YouTube about YouTube ads. Now, I didn't know them before. I started to watch one video, then it was suggested another video, then I was suggested more, and now I know all of these people. Well, I know their channels quite well because I watch their content, because I keep being presented with their latest videos. I keep being presented with similar channels to theirs, and so I'm finding more of these. And every time one of those introduces a new video, then I get that suggestion. So the traffic that you can get from suggested video, it multiplies. Okay, absolutely multiplies, because once you can get in there, and as long as people consume your content at a reasonable sort of retention rate, then you're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine, and you can really expand on your traffic immensely with that. Okay, so that's really important. Okay, so that's why you really want to do this. So now they're getting into some case studies here, which I'm just going to bypass these, because all I really want to just get to these bullet points and just emphasize what they're talking about. Okay, so suggested video helps you get more exposure. Well, I've just kind of explained it. I mean, the guys from say Surfside PPC and Kyle and Shash, etc. When I started to watch their videos, I hadn't heard of them before, and as soon as you start to watch the video, then you get suggested another one and another one and another one, and as long as they've got good, like, appealing titles and thumbnails, etc., you're going to click on them, especially if they're short videos. Here's the key that I found to get into this sort of thing, was that if your videos are short, or if their videos are short, you're more likely to watch them because you think, oh, it's only 3 or 4 minutes. And then you start to watch the longer ones later, once you start to get into them, once you start to trust them a bit. Okay, so that is definitely correct. Okay, helps you to increase your subscriber base. Yeah, I've subscribed to all those guys now, and you probably would as well if you pick one topic. Now what happens then, if you've got just a clean YouTube channel and you start to watch around one topic, you start getting all these suggestions, not just for that topic, but for things that YouTube thinks is related to that, things for other topics that other people who have been watching those videos have also shown interest in, and this can give you a sort of wider range of channels that you might want to target for some placements, for example. Okay, and you're getting YouTube to actually give you that optimization. It's actually suggesting to you, and all you need to do is just take a note of the one, just right click if it's on the computer, and save, or just save into a playlist. That's what I normally do, just save a video into a playlist for any new creators that come up, for any new channels that come up that I want to dig into more, or that I want to add into a placements list for YouTube channels. Okay, how to optimize your videos. Okay, so this is basic stuff, but really important. A lot of people skip this kind of stuff, and to be honest, you know, when I'm doing videos, unless it's something that I really have done for the purpose of content with ranking and YouTube ads, then I just create something quickly myself, either in Canva or Krell or something like that. So what I do then is I'm just using some images I've uploaded before, maybe a logo, and put some text. I mean, it's not perfect. I know it's not perfect, but for what I'm trying to do at that particular time, I don't really care. It's for my existing audience, basically. Okay, if I'm trying to create videos for a new audience, which I don't always do, and very rarely actually do, when I do it, I have to put a lot of effort into the actual video creation. That's why I don't do it so much. But you will see that I start to use professional designed thumbnails that I will get done on Fiverr.com, for example, and there's some very good people on Fiverr.com that can do those really cheaply. You can even buy bundle deals, like 10 at a time, etc. So if you plan your content out, you know you've got 10 pieces of content coming in, and you know what that is, then you can plan all that out and just buy it all at one time, and you will get a reduced price. So the thumbnail is really important, because it kind of shows a level of professionalism, a level of detail, attention to detail, etc., that people appreciate when you're trying to reach to a new audience. Okay, and the things to include in the thumbnail, well, basically they're saying a shortened version of your video title. I don't do that. Okay, here's what I prefer to do. Here's what I suggest you do, is to create something that would be equivalent to a subheadline. Okay, so for example, you got your headline, it's kind of more formal, and it's kind of optimized for the search engines a little bit. Here your thumbnail is where you can put in a subheadline, where you can put in a benefit, basically. So I can have a title like top 5 YouTube SEO tips for 2022, and in the thumbnail I might have so that you can rank faster, or so that you can rank in 48 hours, or whatever the benefit may be. You can put it in there, and that's how I suggest to use the thumbnail. Okay, use a well-designed image, well, get it done on Fiverr.com. There's a ton of very, very, very good designers on Fiverr.com. Okay, keep it relevant to your content and brand. What you will see with a lot of the top creators, like people like Brian Dean and Neal Patel, etc., you will see that they're using very, very similar color schemes for every time, and even sort of the layout where the headshot is and where the icon is. If it's a video, like for example, Brian Dean's doing a video about YouTube, you might see a YouTube icon, and if it's doing another video about WordPress, you might see a WordPress icon, etc. But the headshot's in the same place often, and that kind of thing. So you got that kind of consistency for the branding. Okay, next, having a thumbnail design consistent across your videos. Well, just kind of covered that. Okay, I kind of went ahead of them with that one. So you can see as well, it's very, very similar. Okay, that's exactly what they're talking about. Okay, next, increase the average percentage viewed. Okay, that's the retention time. Percentage retention time. Now, in SerpAttack, we can do video views for each other. Now the benefit is, and compared to what we had before with VidAttack Alpha, was if I bought 25 squid proxies for VidAttack Alpha, I would be getting maximum 50 views for any piece of content, because I couldn't stretch more views from those IPs for that one piece of content. I can of course create 100 pieces of content and do 50 views on each, and there's no limitations on VidAttack Alpha as far as how many campaigns, etc. you could do. But when it came to the actual ability to how many views you could do with those proxies, well, you basically could double the number of IPs. If you've got 50 IPs, 100 views. If you've got 100 IPs, 200 views, etc., etc. Now, with SerpAttack, we create our campaigns in a web application, and then everybody has desktop tools. Okay, you assign your project when you create your project, when you create a campaign, you assign it into a group, and all the people in the group will start watching it automatically. Okay, they start watching your video, their desktop tools start watching their video. If they've got 25 squid proxies each and there's 10 of them, well, that makes 250 squid proxies, which means 500 views. Okay, so that's one of the big benefits of SerpAttack from VidAttack Alpha. So this gives us that ability that we can go and get, you don't even need 500 sometimes, but if you're in a competitive niche and you want to do this, or if you're running YouTube ads at the same time, that's a good thing to do, to get 50 or 100 of sort of 500 or 1,000 of them, just for the purpose of boosting that percentage view, so that we can trigger some algorithms. Okay, so that's one of the algorithm triggers that we can do with SerpAttack, the retention time. And it's not hard to do, it's easy to do, and we have that ability, because we're using proxies, that we can multiply how many views we can get safely as well. Okay, so come down a little bit more, let's see what the next one they've got in here. Optimize your videos for higher views per viewer. Okay, so we kind of covered that where somebody starts watching your video, okay, then they start to watch other videos. This can increase with the session time as well. Even somebody's watching your video now, and then you have an end screen video, or you suggest another video for them to click in the description. Well, we have both of those options inside SerpAttack. One of them will be to watch the end screen, and the cool thing about that is if you've got that video has also got an end screen, then that video comes after that has also got an end screen. You can tell the software, like, go 5 deep and watch the end screen videos of all 5. So video 1, it watches until the end, and then it clicks on the end screen, and that video has an end screen too, and then that video has an end screen too, and so on and so forth. You can increase the session time with SerpAttack. That's a major difference, okay, from what we had in VidAttack Alpha, and it's a major benefit to what we're doing here. Okay, so optimizing videos for how average views per viewer, well, that can work 2 ways. It can be in the session time there and then, which we can do with SerpAttack, or it can be from people who have been suggested videos, like I did with the YouTube ads guys, and when they had the new one, I click on it because I know their content is good. So that's the kind of thing that can happen as well. Okay, so there's 2 ways we can do that, 2 ways we can look at that, and one of them we can do with SerpAttack. Now the other thing as well, that doesn't really get mentioned as much as I think it should, because it's one of the things that actually came straight out of Google themselves, is that the overall watch time. So what they're really trying to do, what their game is, ultimately, is to keep people on the platform, so that they can tell the advertisers, this is real data, we are one of the best places to advertise on the internet. Okay, we've got our own specific benefits, because in YouTube we have got so much traffic and we have got so much intent from the searches that people are doing. We can be very precise what videos that you even have your advert showing up on, etc., etc. It's got major benefits, but it needs that traffic, it needs that watch time, it needs that retention time, it needs you to keep people on the platform, okay, so it can sell, it can get results for people better that are doing advertising, and it can increase its revenue. That's all it's really about. Okay, if you think about it like that and what their role is and what they're trying to do, it's not so hard. Okay, so that's how SerpAttack can really help. Okay, so I'll put a link to this post as well, and if Amir is ever watching this, that's a great article on the Wellway, don't they? Very good job. Now he has pulled the resources in here that you can see. There's a whole bunch of different resources in here. We've got Rachel Alves, YouTube's head of product of discovery, etc. There's a whole bunch of people that are related to YouTube and authority citations there. So all of this is coming basically from Google and from people that have been doing well with suggested videos, etc. This is real stuff. It comes straight from them. They're not trying to hide anything. They're not hiding anything with the algorithm. If your video is performing well, you can't really hack that. Okay, you can only kickstart it. That's all we can do with tools like SerpAttack. Okay, it's not about the technology. It's about kickstarting enough until the real traffic comes, and when real traffic comes, then your video has to stand up. It's as simple as that. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching.